Welcome to Maths with Faith. Here we are again in Chapter 2. Chapter 2, we are dealing with measurements. And this is Section 2, Lesson 1. So Lesson 1 is about the areas of triangles and quadrilaterals. So a triangle is a shape with three sides, right? So any shape that has three sides can qualify as a triangle, right? So this is an example of a triangle here. And I'm sure at this level, you know what a triangle is, right? This is what we call its base, and this is what we call its height. Notice we did not look at the slant height. We looked at the perpendicular, so the vertical height, right? So the base is horizontal, the height is vertical, not the slant height. And the area of the triangle is defined as, the formula for the area of a triangle is a half BH, or a half base by perpendicular height, right? Now a quadrilateral, anytime you hear the term quadrilateral, quad means four. So a quadrilateral is a shape with four sides. So a square is a quadrilateral where all four sides are equal. A rectangle is a quadrilateral where you have two parallel sides being equal, two pairs of parallel sides, right? Each pair being equal. So those are some quadrilaterals that we have already examined. So other quadrilaterals include a parallelogram, which is a kind of slanted rectangle, a rhombus, which is a kind of slanted square, and a trapezium, which has only one pair of parallel lines, right? And it's not necessary, and they are not necessarily equal. They aren't equal, as a matter of fact, right? So this is a rhombus, or it could be a parallelogram, given that the sides don't look so equal. But any rhombus or parallelogram, the area is given by the base by, again, this height is not the slant height, but the perpendicular height. So it's base by perpendicular height. These things you have to remember. Some of them you would find in your formula sheet, but I think it's better for you to just remember them, right? So don't depend on the formula sheet too much. Remember them. And as I said, a trapezium has one pair of parallel lines that aren't equal. So A and B is what we call the parallel lines. And again, the height that we are looking at here for a trapezium is its perpendicular height. So the area of a trapezium is given by this formula, a half multiplied by the sum of the parallel sides, A plus B, multiplied by H. So a half into A plus B multiplied by A plus B by H. That is the area of a trapezium. So again, learn these three areas. It's better to just know them offhand. The area of a triangle, a half BH. The area of a rhombus or parallelogram, B by H. And the area of a trapezium, a half A plus B, where A plus B is the sum of the parallel sides by H. Right? So learn these formulas. Okay? So let us look at an example. So the example states, to find the area of this trapezium. So this is a trapezium here. And we know it's a trapezium because there are only, there is only one pair of parallel lines, right? So this is, and there are four sides. So it is a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel lines. So that's a trapezium. And they have given us the perpendicular height and not the slant height. Because remember, all these H's that we are talking about here, they are all the perpendicular height, right? So it's 90 degrees to the ground, right? So let's find the area. So the area of a trapezium, and since we learned the formula, we know that the area of the trapezium is a half the sum of parallel sides by the perpendicular height, which is a half, and A is 6, let's call A 6, and B 10, right? 6 is one parallel line, 10 is the length of the other parallel line, and H is the perpendicular height, which is 4 centimeters. So that's a half. 6 plus 10 is 16 by 4. So a half of 16 is 8, 4 is 32. And all of this is in centimeters, because remember, we always have to put our units. And of course, it's centimeters squared, because we multiplied centimeters by centimeters. Also, since it's an area, it must be in squared units, right? So it's centimeters squared. And always remember to put in your units as it is part of your answer, right? A lot of students forget to put in their units, right? So it's 32, not only 32, 32 cats, dogs, what? 32 centimeters squared. And that's how we work out the area of a trapezium and the area of other triangles and quadrilaterals.